In many ways, the art of phrasing is the essence of musicality for the pianist. The musical phrase is our basic unit of expression, like the sentence for an actor or the melodic line a singer can sing in a single breath. Even when we extend the sentence or the breath, we still keep the concept and the idea of the phrase. In this video, we will discuss 5 aspects of the art of phrasing: phrase lengths, the classic phrase pattern, agogic accent and melodic shaping, choreography and the phrase, and phrasing and compositional style. We can begin by studying the editions and the teaching of the great Artur Schnabel, who discussed phrasing more extensively than any other pianist of his generation. His recordings reveal a true master of the art of phrasing. Schnabel said, "As I start a new phrase group, I must know in advance how long I have to play, whether for 6, 8, or 12 bars." Schnabel established the length of every phrase or phrase group, marking the phrase groups with Roman numerals above the measure. According to one of his students, the Roman numerals were the only marks in Schnabel's own scores. The first movement of this sonatina by Clementi is an excellent piece to study the length of the phrases. First, we determine the number of measures in each phrase. Then we number the measures with Roman numerals placed above the measures. This is a simple but powerful way to organize and structure our performance. The first 3 phrases in the Clementi Sonatina are each 4 bars long. The first phrase is measure 1 to measure 4. The second phrase is measure 5 to measure 8. The third phrase, measure 9 to measure 12, ends the 12-bar section. But now the phrase structure changes. We have a 5-bar phrase from measure 13 to measure 17. This is a longer musical sentence. In the 9-bar closing section, the phrase lengths are shorter, and the music feels different, tighter and more concentrated. This section ends with a charming 3-bar codetta. At the beginning of the development section in measure 27 to measure 30, we combine the 2-bar phrases to make a 4-bar musical unit. This is followed by a 5-bar phrase from measure 31 to measure 35. The high point of this section is in measure 31 and measure 32. We decrescendo as we return to the opening theme in measure 36. Clementi changes the phrase lengths in the recapitulation at measure 42. Here, he extends the phrase all the way to measure 48. This is the longest phrase in the piece and has to be presented as one uninterrupted idea. In Schnabel's words, space to be conquered in one impulse. Phrase lengths evolve and change throughout a piece. Before we play, we must know how long we must play. When we study phrase lengths instead of single measures, we can develop a much stronger sense of musical structure. This Clementi Sonatina is a beautifully constructed piece, still worthy of beginning study. Although this is a relatively simple piece, the basic approach we used here can be applied to any level of repertoire.